another episode of the Shoot the Messenger podcast. Episode, I think it's number 7.
It is 7. Episode
Are you sure?
7.
Is that confirmed?
That is confirmed because we had 6 episodes up on the website. Or no, excuse me, 5 plus our special Christmas episode.
Yeah, we got to post that. All right, we'll post it today. This episode and the Christmas episode will be posted today, so it's a 2-for-1. And on the website, okay, let me get these off here. Where are we posting these to? Let the people know how to find us.
You can find us online at shootthemessenger.net. Now, I've had somebody say, like, oh, you should change that to a .com. Like, shoot the messenger.
Can you change it to a .com? Is it taken?
Nah, domain's taken.
Yeah, so we can't,
but
even if we wanted.
It's Shoot the Messenger on the internet, shootthemessenger.net.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I have no problems with that. You can support us live. We have a Patreon set up. Just go to the website there, and that's all set up. Let's jump into it. Big week, and this is kind of a rushed episode because we did it on the 25th, and it is we did a Christmas Day episode. It is now the 29th. So did we get an extra episode in there?
We
No.
crammed.
No,
Because we did not do an episode last Saturday.
What was going on? We were out of town.
Holidays.
Okay, all right. So let's catch the people up. Holidays have happened. Christmas has happened. We've been here. Kendra, you've been. Well, I'll just get into it. Your workout plan. Your workout plan. You've been working out?
No. I felt increasingly more and more guilty that I'm not working out.
Isn't that weird how you do these things? This anxiety and depression kind of kick in, and you don't I don't know. You feel like working out's the answer, right? You know, to get your blood levels up, to get your heart pumping. It's just good for you, right?
Yeah. There's definitely steps that you can take naturally to improve your health. That doesn't mean it's a cure to depression or any other, issues you might have going on.
I mean, you're a busy woman. You're busy. And
anybody can find time for a half-hour workout.
I guess that you got to make time to work out. You got to make time to work out. And, okay, so New Year's resolution, you know what's going to happen the first of the year.
I don't want to join
Here we are, the 29th. In a few days, those are the biggest days for gym memberships. Probably the cheapest days for gym memberships, too.
Yeah, that does make it a tempting
Cheap.
offer.
Cheap. How much do you think you can get gym memberships for right now?
I haven't done any research
$10?
on it, but probably...
I think it's $10 a month. Lock them in at that price for the year. You're golden. Yeah, okay. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe I'll join you. I said maybe. All right, let's get us started with a little dose of Elon Musk.
Elon saving the world, bro. While he bang on a golf girl. Whoa.
Elon Musk this week in the news. So we try to cover Elon every week. He's like the changer of our generation, right? Making changes, advancing
Tony Stark.
advancing society, the Brony Stark, if you will. All right, so here's what he says. This is quoted from CNBC. We all know we'll run out of dead dinosaurs to mine for fuel and have to use sustainable energy eventually. So why not go to renewable energy now and avoid increasing the risk of climate catastrophes? Betting that science is wrong and oil companies are right is the dumbest experiment in history by far. Agree, disagree? Because
Yes.
Elon stepping up to big oil, and I mean, stepping up to big oil is kind of passe at this point, but he puts his money where his mouth is, and isn't it kind of, like big corporations make the decisions in the world. Like we wouldn't decide this. We wouldn't, you and me, sitting on a table, and we'd be like, okay, if me and you were just making choices, and we were like, climate change is happening, and this is because of the burning of fossil fuels and releasing carbon monoxide. We'd be like, oh yeah, okay, well let's get off fossil fuels then. And let's move to renewable energy. And that would just happen, you know? And we would force it. Whether there were some growing pains in the process, we would make it. But when you have money-hungry corporations involved, it's not that simple, right?
Well, and I don't really feel like that's Elon's point in this one. Not that, because of climate change, we should stop using oil. But rather, in this case, his argument is more along the lines of, we're going to run out of oil eventually.
Right.
So why not just
it's stupid.
choose to use energy?
And obviously with scarcity, the price will go way up. But hopefully the deal is as enough things, it'll be like old passe, like, oh, that runs on oil. You're going to have to go down to the specialty shop to get your oil. I don't even know.
Well, and this reminds me of the fact that, I feel like I heard once upon a time, and I was trying to find some resources for it, but there was briefly a period right before we transferred over to oil that there was a concern that we were going to run out of trees. This was, of course, before the Americas were found, like right before.
Oh, really?
England was like running out of trees. Now, if you look at England, like it doesn't have very many trees.
I didn't know that.
And so it was right before the Americas were found, which of course had an abundance of trees. But, this is not the first time that humanity has come up against a deadline of, we're using this source for fuel, you better figure something else out.
Well, they always use the excuse, like I'm reading the comments here, like, what about the kids? What about you're not going to be around, to see the climate catastrophe, but your children will. And I think having to show somebody even that, like they don't care enough about themselves, right? Because they're not going to be around for it. So it's very selfish. But to be like, oh, but what about your kids? And they have to see that through their kids or their grandkids or the grandkids' kids. That has to be the point made with people. I still think it's incredibly selfish. I don't think that should be the opening viewpoint. I think you should do it because it's the right thing to do, right?
Well, and I totally agree, but a true pessimist would go, meh, still not my problem.
Well, yeah, no, this is a selfish person. Like, this is a person that is selfish and is very, lack of the word, kind of evil in a way. When you're that selfish, you're just, I don't care. Well, you should care because it's the planet and this is where you grew up. You got your chance. Everybody should have their chance. But, it takes them being like, what about your kids? What about your kids' kids? People are incredibly selfish. I don't know.
And I want to give people the benefit of the doubt of it's not that I really believe that people who are saying things like that are just short-sighted or they don't believe the science for whatever reason because, we've existed this way for forever. Like, that's not real reasons to not change over to renewable energy.
I just think it's like the atheist conversation with the Christians. Christians like, well, if you're not a Christian, then why don't you just go murder and steal and kill and rape and pillage? Like they need God, which is fine. For believers and. I don't want to get an atheist track here or anything. But I'm just saying, like, you don't need the higher power to not kill. It's the right thing to do, right? It's the moral of it all. So, Elon Musk today. All right, let's move on. Second topic, number 2. You're shooting. What do you got? Just had to catch us up. Once a week, Elon Musk, right? And I found that Elon song, so I thought it was kind of like
perfect,
a good little intro. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe I'll just clip it out. Like we'll play it again.
I like it a lot.
Wait, hold on. We'll play it again for the outro.
Elon saving the world, bro.
Okay, there you go. That will be it. Copyright strikes on the way.
And in today's Down the YouTube Rabbit Hole is where we're going. So
rabbit hole, huh?
Yeah. So I've heard of people getting stuck in these rabbit holes on YouTube. Where
God.
Like, click on a video and then that video leads you to another video.
Well, that was the term. They coined the phrase "surfing the web."
Oh,
that's where that came from people clicking on links and then all of a sudden going to another link. And this was happening in the early 90s. And that's how surfing the web happened. It's just that rabbit hole you speak of. But
exactly.
You found the rabbit hole of the internet. This could be a segment. I like this. Okay, so where was your rabbit hole?
Today's rabbit hole went into the future of entertainment via video games and watching video games. Watching video games get played. Now, if anybody knows me, they know I'm not a giant gamer by any means.
No. I saw you playing a cat game the other day, and that was kind of disheartening. It was a really crappy platform cat game where you're running around. What was it called? Do you remember? It was free.
It was free.
And she couldn't get over the first jump because it was too high.
Well, I finally got past it, but it was not.
Just go along with it. You didn't get by it. Go ahead.
So now I do think that video games are the future of entertainment for a couple of reasons. They provide the immersive storytelling of a movie or a TV with all the fun of your choose your own adventure novel.
All right, so Rockstar just launched.
Okay, all right. I'm bringing up some Red Dead.
So
but okay.
where we're going today is Red Dead Redemption, and
yes,
the fact that this game is so immersive. Now we watched Moon play through this, and that was our first introduction to Red Dead Redemption 2. Got to watch and experience the storyline, which was a really wonderful experience. If you have somebody that plays video games, I would highly encourage you to buy this game for them and have them play it.
Wow, whoa. You're putting your stamp of approval on this game. Why do you like it so much?
Because really, the layers became unfolded when we saw a YouTube video where a guy was just following some of the NPCs around for 24 hours and just like showing what these non-playable characters were doing throughout the day. Monotonous stuff, just doing chores, going to the bar, but there was like a whole 24-hour cycle where you could watch these people live out their lives in Red Dead Redemption 2. And I thought,
what do you mean live out their lives? Like just what they do on a normal day?
Yeah,
just...
like what going to camp, going to bed, waking up in the morning, going to the bar, doing some chores.
He's falling here quite a bit. Okay.
So,
oh my gosh.
So after that video exposed to me to how many layers Red Dead Redemption 2 actually has, I found the Dirty Artie series.
Okay.
So this was a series. This is a series that's still in progress, actually.
So this is the game right here, right? It's kind of open western. You got the horses. I mean, if you haven't heard about it, you're probably living under a rock, or you don't play video games at all. It was huge, right?
Big deal because of the fact that it was open world, very detailed. It had all of these mini stories within it. You could make your main character more evil, or
it is kind of story streamlined, though, right? I mean, you do kind of have like. A main quest?
There are choices, and
let me see if I can get the what was the one you had? Dirty Artie.
Dirty Artie.
Okay, keep going.
So what they did, this was where two hosts, they make the dirtiest. So like they never shower him, they never cut his hair, they make him eat everything that he has.
Why is it Dirty
always.
Artie?
They choose the meanest choice.
Arthur Morgan.
Yes. They choose the meanest choice every single time. And they said that they wanted to do this just because they had not really, like, usually when they're playing through, they kind of play this, like, moral middle ground character.
I always want to play the good guy in these games.
Yeah.
I do. I always, like, try to choose the good choices and stuff like that.
And so these two hosts decided that they were going to make every bad choice, every smelly, every mean, every just dirty choice you could possibly make. So I clicked on one, I watched a couple of these videos, and this led me to...
So what's going on here? Can you explain what they're doing? They're just
introducing Artie. What they're going to do is they bought several things of hair tonic to try to make his hair grow longer, faster.
As dirty as they can make it.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yep, they said they're explaining what they're doing here. They said,
come on, hair tonic don't work.
Shower, Yeah, and that was really cool too. You can change the facial hair on your main character.
Oh, it grows out.
Yeah, it grows out throughout the play. Your
play.
play.
That's so funny.
Your
You think of this as a play.
Well, this is a story, and this is the story that you get to choose, which makes, again, that's what makes it great. Now, so this series led me to a rabbit hole of the Red Dead Redemption Easter eggs. Mm-hmm. So,
oh yes, plenty of Easter eggs. Now, Easter eggs are like hidden things in a game that people, this Easter egg terminology kind of came out like, I don't know, 2000 or so. It didn't exist early on, Easter eggs, but the ability to find something of value, of note in the game. Anything is an Easter egg if it has some sort of context to it, right?
Well,
here's a little side note. They actually put work into it, right?
And like from my understanding, Easter eggs, when they first began, sometimes were actually like game bugs that people enjoyed or stuff like that. And then it became something that creators actually made an effort to include in their story.
Because they realized that players really like the Easter eggs.
Exactly.
They do, and you like them.
Oh
you watch whole videos on them.
I've watched so many videos of the different Easter eggs, of the different experiences you can have in Red Dead Redemption 2. There's a serial killer.
Should I bring up the Easter eggs instead of Dirty Artie now?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
There's a serial killer in this story that you can track down and find.
A serial killer, How do they do that?
Well, it's one of those situations where you're like running down the street and some guy's like, "Hey," and he's like super friendly and he invites you in, and so then that's how you discover it. So there's a couple of situations where you're just going about your business, and then there's some guy that's like aggressively friendly, and then it turns out that whoever this person is actually like Bad News Bears.
Right.
So
that's great. And you can kind of get a hint. Like when they're talking to you, you can kind of tell they're like there is something more to the story. The voice acting in Red Dead Redemption 2, very, very good. And you just spent like all day watching videos from Red Dead from a video game?
Yes. One of my favorite Easter eggs in this, and if you can find it, is actually the time traveler Easter egg.
All right, I'll look for it. Time Traveler. What happens in the Time Traveler Easter egg?
So basically, Arthur's given a mission to go talk to Francis. I can't remember the guy's last name. And Francis says, I need you to go and pick up a bunch of... find a bunch of paintings, cave paintings. And once you find all these cave paintings, look at the guy's clothing there.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay.
That's very,
Kind of,
that's not period.
Okay.
He's talking funny. He keeps saying things like, oh, if I tell you why I want you to look for these things, you'll think I'm on the hooch.
Let me hear.
It's a long story. Can you find the carvings?
I have no idea.
Well, I sort of need them. Hey, listen, if you find them, I'll pay you handsomely.
Okay. Yep. So, continuing.
So basically...
He's a time traveler. Oh, okay.
So later you get to go into the cabin, and this is one of the pictures that you see. You see the man with the birthmark on his face. You see the pyramids. You see a futuristic...
Is that the guy you talked to with the birthmark? Okay.
Yep. So basically this kind of gives you a hint that whatever symbols the guy wants, that's what it is.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to spoil the ending for you.
Why not?
Because if you want to play it or you want to experience this for yourself, I don't want to give it all away. But it does have a mini conclusion. If you really want to just go watch the YouTube video where somebody played through it, you can. Mm-hmm. But this was by far one of my favorite Easter eggs. I understand there was also a Bigfoot at one point in this.
Dude, there's a UFOs in the game.
Yes.
You know, I saw Forsen saw. I was watching some of the clips. The UFO just kind of hovering above, all quiet with the lights. Kind of interesting. Just random stuff they put in the game. All right, so what is your conclusion, or what did you go further down the rabbit hole?
Well, I mean, there's just so many. I could just sit here and list off the different rabbit holes that you can go down, but really, I think this is actually more just props to the game makers, the developers, and the story writers. And really, I'm trying to raise up the fact that video games are becoming more of an artwork than I think people ever realized that they could be. Mm-hmm. Like I said at the beginning of the segment, video games allow you to watch something and experience something the way that movies or TV does, but it gives you the options to choose. And the power of choice really, I think, will guide entertainment moving forward.
The illusion of choice is what we want.
Exactly.
It's kind of a choosy thing, but it's not. Okay, Red Dead Redemption 2, very good. I like it. That's the rabbit hole for today. If you want to watch that by yourself, you can go on and check this out. And today, your public freakout session. Let's bring this up here. Yay! So, a lot of Trump supporters, a lot of Trump haters out there. I hate to get political on you. But
here we are at Exhale Vapor City in Tucker, Georgia, and I have just been asked to leave the store. He greeted me. That was nice. I did find the item that I wanted, and the next thing he said was that he'd like me to leave.
If you do not stop recording in my store, I'm going to call the police and ask you to leave now.
Please call the... That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. We can call Fox 5 and all sorts of stuff. I would like to purchase something here.
So
please do call your boss, because I will be calling corporate.
He's got a Trump shirt on. He's got a Make America Great hat on. And you have the right to hate this and stuff, but I don't feel like, whoa.
Okay. Because I just want to purchase something from
Fuck off, dude! Fuck off! Get the fuck off in here, man! Fuck, man! Fucking stay! Fucking can't stand your racist motherfuckers!
Racist?
Yeah!
Sure.
Right?
I'm not a racist.
Black guy's like, what?
He's wearing some Trump bullshit, got some racist bullshit all up in his head and shit.
So, yeah, public freakouts, man. People freak out. They think it gives them the right to freak out. I don't like it.
Well, let's break this down a little bit.
Right.
Okay. So the guy totally has every right to wear whatever he wants.
Right.
Also, being a business owner, from my understanding, you have the right to kick out whoever you want.
It's not the owner, though. It's the guy that works there.
He said my store.
He's a treasonous asshole.
I don't have a problem with you whatsoever. I just want good health care for my kids. I don't have a problem with the color of your skin or yours. I'd like to purchase some of this naked vape juice, though, if that would be all right. All right, see, because... Okay, here's where we're at.
Leave the store.
Here's where you're at.
Leave the store.
Leave
the store.
Here's where we're at.
Leave the store. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Get out. Dude,
go ahead, take another swing at it. Make contact with me one more time. I'm going to make a deal with you. I want to purchase that vape juice.
So
if you sell it to me, I will.
No!
If you sell it to me, I will. look, if you say...
He's going full pterodactyl.
Yeah, but dude, just leave. Just leave.
Why?
Why-
He's not
why-
doing anything wrong. He knows that he's pushing the guy's buttons.
Yeah,
he has
he
them
loves
in a...
it. He's doing it on purpose.
Right. Okay. So you're getting upset now. So like, hold on a second.
Sell it to me,
No,
I
I'm
won't
not.
call the police.
What you...
Okay, so here's my take on things like this. If you have a hard time listening to it and not understanding it, it's because it's like cringy within yourself. So watching this shows you how never to be, ever to be in public and what to do. So let's watch this a little bit because it gets worse.
Did was assaulted me. What I need is that for my wife. If you sell it to me, I won't call the fucking cops and press charges on you for assault. I won't call corporate and get you fired. Just sell me the fucking product so I can leave.
What do you want?
Naked in the strawberry in a fucking 6 milligram.
Where do you see naked?
Right here. This shit. Where is it?
Where
this?
the fuck do you see
Right
it?
there. Here. Right next to that. In a 6 milligram. Make sure it's a 6 milligram so I don't have to come back.
No, you're not fucking coming back to my store, homie.
He sells it to him anyway.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. Oh my fuck.
God bless America. Capitalism wins again.
Okay, so yeah, obviously not the right thing to do, right? Comments. I can tell you want to talk.
Well, I want to talk, but I don't want to get upset. Like, this is really hard for me
Why
to
is it
watch
so
because
hard for you to watch?
I get, like, when I hear people screaming and stuff, I think it just, like, the energy... this sounds so, like, loopy. The energy of it just, like, I can feel it and it just washes over me. I don't like it.
It washes over you.
It washes over
This is how yeah, anyway, some churches operate.
Yeah, so that's why I don't want to watch it. It's just...
They do start bartering in the middle of it, and I think it's great. He goes full pterodactyl some more, and I could play it, but it's such a good freak out. Like the cringe is what makes it great, and that's what you don't understand. What fucking juice? It's naked. Where the fuck do you see that? You know, so like it's funny how they're bantering within the confines, but the guy really does get worse. A meltdown. And I feel like sometimes people think like shouting and screaming at a person is a way to get things done. Like this guy obviously wasn't getting his way, and he just goes full pterodactyl. I'll go.
Okay, you can be...
No. Sell it
Hold
to
on.
me. Sell it to me.
Fuck off.
Come on. Bring it up.
Fuck off! Fuck off!
Pterodactyl. Full, right?
Like, I understand what it feels like to not want to hit somebody, but not know how to express yourself.
How he wants to hit somebody?
Oh, I think he wants to punch that Trump guy in the face.
For what though? Is
Because
he validated? I think this
I
guy.
don't think he's validated. Let me
think
make that clear. I do not think that the guy kicking him out is right.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think the guy wearing the political paraphernalia and like knows he's picking on him. He knows that he's being kind of.
It says the name of the president. It says the president's slogan. It's not, kill all white people or anything like that. So I don't find it to be offensive. If somebody wants to support the president, that's always okay in my book. It's always okay, and they shouldn't be refused.
Should you always support the president?
I think like if somebody wants to support the president, it's okay. It's not. I don't think you should always, maybe, but anybody who agrees with something 100% of the time probably is wrong half the time.
So how do you
maybe over half.
suggest
I don't know.
this
They're wrong
guy,
sometimes.
Deal
with it like every customer. When I worked in customer service, I dealt with people I didn't like all the time, but I dealt with this smile and be on your way, and I'm here to provide a service. So it's discriminatory is what it is. It's discriminating against people for having different beliefs and viewpoints, and it's like that. So it's so left, it's wrong. It's so like I want to defend people that you're not defending people's rights. And you're making an ass of yourself. He's now on Reddit, public freakouts. It's almost like the #1 thing on Reddit right now.
I do think that is the danger of getting too... Just be mindful of what you're representing, right? Like if you are for inclusivity and being fair to all people, then do it. And if you feel like the president is not doing that and does not represent that should not change your morals about how to treat people. And that should not change the way you feel about equality and being fair. And I don't think that it was appropriate for the guy to kick him out.
Yes, you've said that.
Because it's not. To squash somebody gives them more power, right? To shut them down.
Well, he gave him absolute power by going full pterodactyl. Now he's posted it on his social media. In the backlash, the guy probably lost his job. I mean, the guy was, when you look at the fight, he's like, you're probably never going to work again. This is going to be it for you. So, you can at least ring me up and I won't post this right now.
But he posted it anyway.
No, the guy went full pterodactyl and he kept going. So,
we didn't really see what led up to the final thing. So, I mean, like, I know that he went to sell him the thing, and then he freaked out again. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you can watch the video. It was too cringe for you to watch, so I guess we'll have to figure it out next time. I'll try to watch it, but look it up on your own time. It's pretty cringe. He sold the thing. He sold the vape juice, as it were, and I think, with this age of social media, you just got to be real chill, and public freaking out is never going to solve anything. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Freaking out will never solve anything.
Agreed.
All right, on to the next. Let's move next topic. You're shooting. What do you got?
Continuing in the dangers of cameras being everywhere.
Yeah.
Today's, I don't even know how to introduce this. A high school wrestler was forced to cut his dreadlocks or forfeit a wrestling match.
Right.
So this was an African-American high school boy who had some dreadlocks. I don't know very much about wrestling, but I looked into it a little bit, and apparently if you have longer hair, you must wear a hair wrap. Mm-hmm. There are some regulations included in your hair binding or whatever. So what happened is this ref basically showed up late to the wrestling meet. He initially didn't say anything to Johnson.
Blackistone. Okay, go ahead.
He didn't say anything to Johnson about his hair or needing to wear a hair covering. And keep in mind, this high schooler had also already competed in other matches against other teams and in other situations where there had been no issues raised.
Okay.
So, as the wrestler was going to take to the mat for his match, the ref pulls him aside, says, nope, you got to cut that. Your options are, you can forfeit the match right now, or you can cut off your dreadlocks.
What was the reasoning they wanted to cut the dreadlocks off?
Because it is in violation of the head coverings. It is a violation of, apparently you're supposed to have a certain length of your hair.
It's crazy that this kind of bigotry still exists, I'd like to believe that it doesn't, but you go online and you play any game that has any sort of anonymity, or go onto any social posting forums that has anonymity, and people are just ruthless, and they're racist. They say the most outlandish things, maybe because they feel like they get the shock and awe value, they can just get away with it. But other people really believe this, and I'd like to believe in my head that if any person with long hair that didn't fit the head requirements would cut their hair, but evidently it's not.
Well, and the thing, I have several issues with this. We'll continue on that, but apparently the wrestling regulation is that it must be cut to a, quote, normal collar length and above the ears. So, first of all, I find that vague, because what is normal? Normal is a very unspecific term. Second of all, this probably should have been a conversation that the coach and the kid had before any meets. There should have never been any questions about it. I think the ref was actually in the wrong for even giving him the option to cut his hair off. Right. Because this guy's a kid, right? And as a ref, you're going to look bad no matter what in a situation like this. And to force this, because the kid really did have the choice. You can either not play or you can cut off your hair.
Well, he did. Okay, so this ref called somebody else the N-word. Race conduct. At a party in 2016, he called a black referee the N-word. Said he didn't remember using the slur. So this is something that goes deep, and this is the wrong people in power, right? A referee giving a power situation, Well,
I do understand that if the rules are collar length and above the ears, that is a regulation that white kids have to follow, then yes, children of all ethnicities must follow that regulation. But I do feel like
I was
definitely cutting a line.
There you go.
By crossing a line by telling him, no, you just cut your hair. If he really felt that passionately about it, he should have just disqualified the kid, not even given him the option to cut his hair. Johnson did go on to win the match and win the meet for the team because
in
he
overtime
chose to cut his hair.
Yeah,
They did go on to win the meet. He is taking a couple weeks off from the team just because of all the publicity that this has caused. The ref has been
he's not going to
suspended.
be. He's not going to be in any matches with the ref moving forward. So there you go. Good team character. I was in a karate match once, and there was I lost first round to a black kid, and he was good. It was sparring, right? Karate, and I was young, but he made it to like the next round and the next round, and then they told him he couldn't fight because he didn't have a mouth guard. And then they told his mom, like, hey, he doesn't have a mouth guard. He can't fight, which is standard. And she's like, you mean to tell me he went all this way and he can't fight? And she got full lion on them, right? And they're like, well, if you just go to the lobby and purchase a mouth guard, and then he can fight, but he can't be in sparring without. And then he went on to get like third place, I think, like that. So it's pretty good. So I was kind of like involved in a similar situation, and to me that wasn't race. It was just a matter of like, hey, the guy didn't have a mouth guard, so he went and got one, or hey, the hair's too long, so they went and cut it. But evidently, there's a lot more to this story. Than just like somebody cutting their hair.
There are people in the African American community who feel that, and it's true that their hair has been a giant part of their culture for a long time. And so to kind of single out somebody of color who has a type of marginalized hair, because dreadlocks, people think dreadlocks are dirty, but they're not. It's just the texture of their hair. That's the way that they have to
you
care
can't
for their
wash
hair.
dreads a whole lot.
No, but there are certain types of hair textures that actually work better with dreadlocks than others.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just the way that the shape of their hair follicle, it works better for them to have dreads. And people still kind of just... It's infuriating to think that people get so upset about this stuff. Now... Yeah,
well, what do you mean? It's infuriating to think that people get so upset about this stuff.
About the fact that... they say, well, people with colored hair or whatever, they are dirty. They don't wash their hair enough, or they should style their hair like a white person's hair.
White people have dreads too.
Yeah, some of them. Those are usually the smelly dreads. But I just don't.
So you just like totally went back on what you said.
That was a bad joke.
Yeah, it was a terrible joke considering what your point is. That people, you don't like that people make fun of that or say this, and then you go ahead and I say it's a white person and you make fun of them. Yeah. So where's the... Okay. Because
if I could grow dreads if I wanted to. Because of the texture of my hair, I could make my hair dread.
That's cool.
But so
we had a guy in our camp.
Like,
we had a guy at camp growing up. He had dreads. His name was Colin. We thought he was awesome. And we wanted to like curl our hair so we could, or perm our hair so we could dread it out. Yeah. Anyway, we're spending too long on it. It is popular opinion. The ref, obviously, if this happened in the 90s, you'd probably get away with it. This day and age of supermass information flow, then he's going to be ridiculed. I'd like to move on, but what?
The last thing I want to say, I think the real lesson here is do not force a child to cut their hair without looking like the villain. Unless they're your parent and you're making somebody cut their hair, you're going to look like the asshole.
Because you are.
There you go.
Cut your hair. All right, today got one palate cleanser for you today, and look at this cat. And I've seen chipmunks and stuff squeeze, but this cat can squeeze. Check this out. Watch. Boop boop.
Oh.
And he's out. Wow. See?
Oh,
look how big he is. He's such a talent. And they're at like a little pet shop, and he squeezes his whole body through this little hole in the glass. And the other kitties are like, "How did you do that? You just gotta want it enough."
Well, I feel like
he just went through child or cat birth, so he knows what he's doing. He knows how to get out. He's like, I've done this before.
Well, there is some kind of rule, I thought, where like if their whiskers make it through or something, Maybe because he's a kitten, he can do it. But if their whiskers can make it through, then usually their bodies can, is the general rule.
Oh, really? They're as wide as their whiskers?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
So that way,
because the whiskers kind of feel things, and as they walk through, that would be protective.
Yeah.
I like that. That
Yeah.
works. Did you check the sound?
I did when we started.
Okay, how was it?
It was great when we started.
Okay, all right, good. So that was a palate cleanser right there because I felt like we really needed one. And moving on to the next subject, heavy stuff. The last northern white male rhino has passed. Yep, it died. 2018. Fun time to be alive. You know, so that's what it is. How do you feel about this? Evolution?
I mean,
The progression, natural progression of things?
I mean, this is certainly not the first time we've seen the end of a species,
Right.
with the passenger pigeon in particular.
Just thought it was notable. We could stake flag this like we did a podcast on the white rhino when it disappeared.
Well, and
Are they going to bring it back?
it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, with science advancing every day and the fact that basically sorry, I'm listening to myself and us.
Take it off. Worry about the now. If
well-
you're fine, then you're fine.
Well, yeah, I was trying to hear if I could hear myself echo, which I might have a slight echo.
Oh.
But anyway, sorry about that. With the fact that science is moving at such an accelerated pace, I mean, I think that it's entirely possible that we could see an extinct species come back. The question really becomes, would we want to bring it back? Would that do more damage? Is it possible that would actually hurt the ecosystem or hurt? Because really, it's survival of the fittest. And if they didn't survive, then there's probably a reason.
It's deforestation. Humans are causing it. It's not natural, selective process as it's been for thousands of years. This is like hunted for their tusks. You know, they're hunted for their horns. I mean, their white rhino horns. So yeah, bringing them back would be just like bringing back the California condor that died because of deforestation. I don't think there's a problem with it. I think that
I mean,
when it's natural, like most of them have been, maybe leave the dinosaurs extinct. But when it's like this and the humans have caused it, like a couple white rhinos walking around, I don't have a problem with it.
Well, is that really fair though? Are we just bringing that species back because we feel bad because we killed them? And really,
It's what separates-
Is that
Jesus.
Well, let me finish my point. And is that really
Double-sided point. Go. Is it really what? 2 points.
I lost it. You kept interrupting me.
Okay. So, yeah, bringing back the white rhino would be a good thing because of deforestation. That's what separates us from a fungus or a parasite, Kendra. A parasite will just consume everything it can, eat the globe, eat the world. The difference between us and that is that we can help those lower creatures and
But
bring
for
them
how
back.
long?
Well, as long as we can.
As long as we're around, we can continue to bring species back
Well,
to
if
life,
we-
and that means we should.
If we weren't here, they'd probably be fine. So yeah, we have the ability to help and manage and help deforestation and lower our use of strip mining and fossil fuels and things that kind of like take away the habitats, these natural habitats of these creatures. So
But
yeah,
if the habitats are gone, is there really any? What's the point in bringing them back? Because they have no place to live as it is. Are we just going to leave them in cages their entire lives?
it's a very pessimistic view that you have. Are you just playing devil's advocate, or do you really believe this?
I'm trying to feel out my opinion. Actually.
Okay. Yeah, no, we cause them. We should set up safe spaces for these animals, natural safe spaces, obviously. Deforestation and cities being built without thinking, early centuries, blocking off natural, migrations of herds and things like that. We should definitely bring them back and try to set up a natural space for them. We've been trying to fuck around with pandas forever, trying to get them to mate and do that jazz. So I think we have a responsibility using our brains and our technology to help the animals, obviously. And I would hope you feel the same way. Miss Universe, let's move on. Miss Congo, I'm sorry, going on to Miss Universe. Miss Congo 2018, did you see it?
I did not.
You did not see it?
No.
Okay, well, everybody has their moments, and this is, you like cringeworthy moments, okay? So they say Miss Congo won. Okay, great. She's beautiful. She's so excited. They have the stage going. Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
She's okay, folks. When she won, the sparks went in her hair and lit it on fire. Look at that. Boom. This girl is on fire. Alicia Keys, this girl is on. So anyway, everybody post that. I love this. She's just a girl and she's on fire. That's what everybody's saying. Right. No joke. This exact same type of laughter I laughed. Yeah, she's okay, though. She's okay.
Wow. Wow. No, thank you, friends.
Is that synthetic hair?
I mean...
No. Natural curly. Burns quicker. Yeah. Fake hair melts, they say. So it's interesting. It's crazy to see, and I kind of just saw it today, and I thought I'd throw it in the show.
It reminds me of a professor who once told me, if you ever smoke, make sure that the man lights your cigarette, because you don't want your hair to set on fire. For some reason, I guess she had an experience where she'd set her own hair on fire. So she suggested...
Don't need no man to light my cigarette. Why are you smoking cigarettes anyway?
I'm not.
Okay.
She was.
Good. What do you got for us?
Oh, sorry. Let me...
42 minutes in, episode 7. You can check us out at shootthemessenger.net. You went down to the YouTube rabbit hole so far. Your bad movie review. Let's do that.
Let's.
Can we?
We can.
All right. So this is something that's been going on from week to week. You've been watching B horror movies.
Yeah.
Are we staying the same? Are we watching B horror movies?
Yes, but I'm going to be loose with my definition.
Of horror?
Of what a B horror film is.
Okay.
And really...
Take it away.
Today's movie actually falls right on that line of... I kind of played it a little close to what I could consider a B horror film. Today's movie is the 2014 Kevin Smith film Tusk.
Tusk.
So,
Tusk. To husk. Like that? Is that it?
That's it. That's Justin Long right there.
Justin Long.
Yeah.
Where is Justin Long?
He's in Tusk.
2014, though.
2014.
4 years ago.
So
I miss that guy.
He's great. He is great.
I miss him.
So
just write him a letter.
The synopsis... Now, actually, before I get into the synopsis... Fans of Smith might actually know that this movie was inspired from a conversation that occurred on his podcast that actually was also inspired by a prank. So the prank was some guy had written a note and put it in a bathroom, and it was a fake classified ad. And what it said was, hey, I used to have a walrus as a friend. If you come and spend a couple hours in a walrus suit, you can hang out with me for free every day and I'll pay you, or something like that. So Kevin thought that story was hilarious.
He used to have a walrus as a friend, so he's going to pay somebody to act like a walrus?
So, yes, that was the prank. And so Kevin heard about this fake classified ad, and he thought it would be a wonderful synopsis for a movie. Nobody would make it, and so he made it himself.
Oh, Haley, did I just see Haley Joel Osment?
You did.
I did. Haley, look at him.
There he is.
And he's on the radio. He's talking to the mic.
They're podcast hosts.
These are great mics.
Yeah, they are.
That's the one Moon Moon has. Go ahead.
They're podcast hosts.
Oh, no shit.
So their podcast is called The Not See Party.
Okay.
Okay, got
it.
Yes,
Not
of course.
Party, right.
So there's the whole synopsis of the podcast is that Justin Long's character goes to places, does things, and then he comes back and he tells his best friend about it because his best friend doesn't want to travel. So it's the Not See Party because his friend's not seeing in person.
Okay. So which one is Justin Long? The one that not sees?
No, he's the one that sees. So what ends up happening is he goes to Canada to do this interview. The interview falls through, and then what happens is he finds a strange letter above a urinal. Now, I'm not a man, so you're going to have to tell me, do urinals frequently have notes above, like a corkboard above the urinal?
No corkboard, but there are, somebody who scribbles some sort of bullshit in there.
Okay, well,
usually just meme type stuff, yeah.
In today's surviving a horror film...
Right.
Would you answer a strange letter pinned to a corkboard above a urinal? I mean, this was a letter that this old man wrote, and it was pinned to a corkboard above a urinal.
Maybe if I'm looking for adventure.
And indeed, Justin Long's character was. So anyway...
Yeah. Oh, he was.
Yes, he was.
See?
So he contacts the
That's a good premise. Kevin Smith writing. Look at who we got here. Who we got?
The one on the left is Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith.
Right.
The one on the right is, I think her name is Amber Rose.
Yeah.
And that is Johnny Depp's daughter.
It is.
It is. Johnny
Okay.
Depp's daughter and Kevin Smith's daughter are best friends. They've known each other since kindergarten. So
Who's this guy? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't remember that guy's name, but he's been in a lot of films.
Okay.
That is the old man. So Justin answers the ad, and he goes to this old man's house. And as he's talking to him, he ends up drugged, as you can see.
Yes.
And then that is a walrus penis. Yep. And then you find out that the old man wants to turn Justin into a walrus. That is the premise of the movie. Is that the old man wants to turn Justin Long's character into a walrus. Sew it up. The way Kevin Smith described it was a more cuddly human centipede. And I would have to agree, hours after I watched this film, I definitely was like, that was a weird one, folks. That one was a weird one.
Human centipede, huh? Gross.
So this movie will have you asking halfway through, we already kind of ruined it, is that Johnny Depp? And yes, it is indeed Johnny Depp.
What is he? Where's Johnny Depp? What does he do?
Johnny Depp's character is actually the detective that is tracking down a serial killer who cuts off men's legs. So it's on they're looking for this guy, basically. Johnny Depp's investigator character. And the guy has like a fake prosthetic nose. Like it's very much one of Johnny Depp's like earlier roles where he's a character and he's playing this weird kooky guy. But
it's very much like his old roles that he used to play.
All right, it's very much like all of Johnny Depp's roles. But it's not
Okay, so let's look. 44% of Rotten Tomatoes audience scored it at a 36%. People's Republic of what? Desire. Oh, never mind. That's okay. Sorry, different movie. I'm like, is that a rating? Okay. All right.
There are a couple of things that I enjoyed about this film. First of all, it was obviously written by a stoner. Cause
why is that?
In my opinion, there were too many puns. The main character's name was Wallace.
You're saying Kevin Smith's a stoner?
Yeah. Yep, I am.
Okay.
So the main character's name was Wallace, who was later turned into a walrus.
Right.
Justin Long has a mustache in this film, which I definitely think is playing. And there's several mustaches that occur through.
Yeah, he's got a great mustache.
Yeah, he looks like a little human walrus already with his little mustache. See? So, as well as there are a few other throwbacks.
Is it funny?
Yes. It is. It does have a couple of laugh out loud moments. It's not like sustained hilarity, but it is ridiculous, and it embraces how ridiculous it is.
Okay, so there's the bathroom you're talking about.
Exactly. There he is finding the letter.
Yeah, there's shit like that everywhere. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
But do you answer the long letter?
Look at these are like pull tabs.
Yeah. And you do you see the little flyer that he took, and it has pull tabs on the bottom of it as well. And
you know the secret to the pull tabs.
The pull tabs.
If you put one up,
you have to take one.
Yeah, you take a few, right?
Yeah, but there's a bunch missing. But I think that's actually alluding to the amount of people that this old guy has actually murdered.
Oh,
yeah.
So he's done this before?
Yes, absolutely. I don't want to give it away. I mean, at one point, he sees a lot of dead bodies. Justin Long's character does.
Okay.
Now, this does have some special effects makeup done by Robert Kurtzman. He was known for doing the makeup in From Dusk Till Dawn, most notably. I would say that the ending is a little bit weird, and that actually brought the whole score of the movie down. I thought it was funny. It was interesting. It did not. It kept the pace going. I didn't feel bored. But like I said, the ending was weird. But that's actually to be expected. So if you know what Kevin had originally planned for the ending of Red State.
All right. So we're going to talk about the ending right now. If you don't want to know the ending and you want to watch Tusk yourself, go ahead, fast forward, skip this, leave the chat right now. I want to hear the ending. What happens?
So the old man
makes it interesting.
What had happened was the old man had murdered a lot of people, and he had skinned them to make a walrus skin suit, and then he sews Justin Long into the skin suit.
Wow.
He's all sewed together. His legs are cut off.
And it shows it, kind of?
It shows it. Yeah. It shows it. He has tusks inserted into Justin Long's mouth. And the part where you know that he had done this a lot was when he starts telling, like, "You're going to be a walrus," he keeps telling Justin. And then he says, "And walruses swim." And he pulls on this chain, and Justin is stuck in this giant, blubbery, full of dead bodies, like walrus-shaped thing.
Wow.
Frankenstein-type animal. He pulls him into the water, and Justin sinks to the bottom. And at the bottom, he sees another walrus that looks like him. A human covered in human fat that is... So at the ending, the investigator, the best friend, and the girlfriend find Justin, but already... also Justin murders the serial killer. He, freaks out and, kills him. Rightfully so. But the real weird part...
They kill the murderer?
The murderer.
Good.
The real weird part was at the very end, the best friend and the girlfriend come back a year later to an animal park. And they walk up to the walrus exhibit and they say, "Hey, Wallace, we're here, Wallace." So Wallace is a walrus living in an animal park now. That's the end of the film. And I felt like that was just a weak ending because if you'd gone through all that trauma, you're still a human inside. Why? I don't understand why they couldn't have uncut all of the dead human away from him and let him be a legless, why keep him a walrus?
Right.
Why not? I mean, if this guy went through all this work
I get it.
of piecing the bodies together and managed to make that work, why can't scientists just... I mean, yes, he won't have legs, and yes, his arms will be sewed together, but still,
right.
Why keep him with the tusks in his mouth? Why?
Living at the zoo. Why, God? Why?
So, with not most, but Kevin Smith has a way of setting up a really great story, having really great funny lines, and then it just kind of falls apart at the end, in my opinion. I love Kevin Smith. I love all of his films.
Yes, you do. You're a big fan.
I'm a big fan of Kevin Smith. I've seen all of his talks, but I admit, sometimes his movies just fall apart at the end, and this was one.
Okay, so Starship Troopers, you rate the movies. We should get a graphic for this, but anyway, go ahead. Out of 5, or how many Starship Troopers?
It is out of 5. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Jesus, that's high.
It is kind of high.
You're a fangirl.
I love Kevin Smith.
Yeah, that's the only reason why it's scoring so high.
It really kind of is. But also, I will give you that, but also some of the jokes were just actually legitimately funny. I did find myself genuinely surprised by how good some of the jokes were, which made it better. It was an interesting premise, which makes it better. And the fact that I kept thinking about it later also raised the score, because a really good horror movie or movie like this will kind of make you ponder life later. It will make you feel disturbed for a little while, and you will have felt like you went through an experience. And I did feel a little creeped out.
What was the horror movie you just watched that was really good that everybody's talking about on the internet?
Bird Box.
Yeah, Bird Box. That's the one you want to watch. Don't waste your time with this one. Watch Bird Box as well. How would you rate that one? Pretty high? You probably go over it next week if you want.
Well, I don't want to go over Bird Box because it is definitely more modern, newish, and that's not what I want this segment to be about. And it's also high quality. I would consider Bird Box a work of art.
But you thought it was great. You just saw it, and it makes you
It was really good.
Yeah, the whole internet's talking about being blindfolded and whatever, but now you know why.
Exactly.
Check it out.
From Bird Box.
Yeah, but okay. So as far as Tusk,
if you want to know what would be a comparable film before you watch it, if you watch horror movies, a movie that I might compare this to would be Evil Dead 2, the second one, not the first one, because the first one's a little bit.
I got
creepy.
you. Why?
The second one was where Ash cut off his arm and all the crazy stuff happened with the girlfriend and so it was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was also dark.
Yeah.
And that is kind of the same feeling I had throughout Tusk. Ridiculous, but also dark. Not very self-aware, which is also what I think made it comparable to Tusk and Evil Dead 2.
Okay. Perfect.
So
3 Starship Troopers out of 5. Go check out Tusk, made by your favorite Kevin Smith. Yay! All right, found this today. This is going to be my last bit of it. Do you have anything else?
Not
right.
Today.
Okay, beautiful. So my last bit of wisdom for the day. Seize the wisdom of the ages. Pepper, right here. We have pepper. Okay, so you shake it. Mm-hmm. Okay, nothing. Okay, but if you rub the top, look what happens. A lot more pepper. A lot more. Get more pepper. So there's things like this. There was the opening of the can from the side before. And now there's pepper. And now we know how to really get our pepper out there. So remember this, next time you're out, instead of just shaking it and getting flakes, you take the other one, rub it across the top.
The bottom. So you
the bottoms and the bottoms together. That's right. The now top that you flipped it upside down. Okay, so the bottoms together, and you get a lot more pepper. How about that?
Wow, that's like a pile of pepper. That's not like a little bit more. That's a lot more.
That is a lot more. Any final thoughts before we head out today, Kendra?
I'm going to work out eventually.
Yeah, that's good. The New Year's here. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Shoot the Messenger podcast. We'll keep it nice and short. This one being about an hour long. We'll load it up to our website, and we'll get the Christmas one up there as well. And until then, shoot first. Shoot first. Like Han. Han shot first. We'll see you later. Check out the podcast. ShootTheMessenger.net. Say goodbye, Kendra.
Bye, everybody.